Welcome to Plants Against Hunger video series, Grafting. Today we're going to look at doing a cleft graft. We received 150 rootstocks from Copenhagen Nursery out of Oregon. 100 of them are semi-dwarf and 50 are dwarf. The tools we're going to use are a grafting knife, clippers, rubberized splicing tape, label marker, the rootstock, and the Scion. The first step is to match the Scion with the rootstock. We want the diameters to be the same. The two marks indicate the beginning of the wedge and the end of the wedge. That's an important point because you want the diameters to match. This is the splicing tape. It's rubberized, so it's stretchy, and it creates a good seal. It's not just electrical tape, it's electrical splicing tape. This is my Zen Garden grafting knife from Amazon, about $9. It has a single bevel edge and a flat side, so it's like a wood plane. The first step on it is to create the cleft. You're going to cut down the center of the rootstock very slowly and carefully. You have plenty of time. It cuts pretty easy. Go about this far. You can go a little further if you want. The longer the cleft, usually the better, within reason. Next is you're going to make a wedge, and that's just basically a two-sided cut to slide into that cleft. The important point here is to match the cambium layers. So one side has to match, at least. Ideally, both sides match, but that's going to take some practice. I'm going to do 3 trees tonight, but by the time I'm done with the 150th tree, I hope I do a better job. One tool I forgot to mention before and is very important for me are a pair of cheaters. You can just see everything better that way. In this case, we have a rootstock that has a larger diameter than the Scion. There's 2 ways to handle that. One, you can offset the cut in the rootstock, shown here. What we're basically doing is cutting the rootstock off center so that it's the same width as the Scion. The other way, shown here, is to take the Scion and offset it into the rootstock. So the rootstock cut is the same, you just offset the Scion so that the cambiums match. You'll have one good side that matches, one that won't. The one that won't will never heal together. It'll heal, but it'll never heal together. Here's a good image of the actual wedge. You can see the woody portion, and then you can also see the cambium. Since I don't like that big gap in this method, I'm going to take some of my grafting wax, which is a beeswax derivative, and I'm going to putty that right into that gap. And what I'm doing that for is to prevent disease and fungus and moisture from getting in. I also go up the Scion. I don't show it here, but I'll take that wax and go right up the Scion. And what that does is prevents moisture from escaping. Once the Scion dries out, it's dead. You're done. Here I'm soaking the roots in a cup of water before I plant them out. I mix some potting soil with some perlite. I'm using 1/3 potting soil and 2/3 perlite. I'm after a very good draining mixture. Taking the potting soil out, put in a couple cups. Then I'll place the rootstocks into the pot and fill in behind with the soil. But first, taking a look at these roots, they're pretty long. They could use a pruning. Basically, when you prune roots, it's like when you prune the tree. Where you cut the roots will branch off. So by pruning the roots, you actually help make more roots. Put them in the pot, and then fill around, and then we'll water them in. Plants Against Hunger is a charity. The concept of the charity is if you grow a fruit tree, you oftentimes have more fruit than you can use. So just take 1/3 of that fruit and give it to the local food pantry or Meals on Wheels. Some group where it's difficult for them to get food, you can help them out. Don't forget the label. If you don't label it, you'll forget. And here it is placed in an area that's pretty dark and definitely cool. We want them to be able to stay asleep. They're dormant now. We want them to stay that way while they heal. It can be messy, these projects, but they're not too bad. It's pretty easy to clean up. Just like that. So these rootstocks will be planted out, and someday, when they grow larger, they'll look like this. Thank you, stay well, and have a great day.